Did you hear that? The 13th chime. It shouldn't exist, but we all know it's there, hiding behind the face of that demon clock. Once more it is time for the veil of shadows to be lifted. Once more it is time for the Hallow-Holics Anonymous podcast.
Live from Imhotep's tomb, trying to figure out some ancient hieroglyphs.
I'm Julianne.
I'm Madeline.
And I'm Chris.
So, first off, guys, Julianne's not feeling too good today.
No, I've got a frog living in my throat.
Which is massively inconvenient. I mean, how do you even feed it?
Carefully. I keep on the humidifier at night to keep that kind of swampy atmosphere going.
So you imitate its natural environment.
Yeah, I'm hoping, I don't know, but actually that makes it sound like I'm trying to keep him. I'm not. I'm trying to get rid of him.
Hey, did we forget something? No, we didn't. We actually, as a group, decided to get rid of the poem.
Yes. Team effort.
We have an intro, and
Yeah.
it's hard to find relevant poems
Yeah.
to what we're talking about all the time.
Yeah, but I mean, it's not that we don't like poetry.
We love poetry.
Yeah.
I mean, we had a poem at every podcast.
Yep.
That was like...
Personally, for me, it's just a lot of legwork, you know?
You never had to do any of the legwork. We always found the poems for you, Chris.
You know what? You're right. But
it was still a lot of legwork.
So our topic this week is possession movies, and I guess the topic of possession in general.
Possession is absolutely terrifying to me. The idea of it is super terrifying, especially like when the person who's being possessed is aware of it. The internal struggle is kind of horrifying. Isn't there, no, never mind, those people are dead. Never mind, I was gonna bring up something about somebody like knowing they're being possessed and like an internal struggle, but I cannot remember what I was reading or watching that was about.
Well, there's a lot of cases of possession. It's depending on what your beliefs are, depending on the situation. It's a flip of a coin whether it's like just a mental disorder or something more sinister.
It's probably just a mental disorder, some sort of psychosis. That's my opinion. I don't believe possession is real.
Fair enough.
I believe somebody can believe they're being possessed.
That's
Psychosomatic
yeah.
madness, but they believe it so hard that they actually
start acting weird.
Yes.
Okay, well, I'm Catholic, so yeah.
So no?
No, yes, definitely yes.
You know what does a lot of possession? Supernatural. Constantly. They do possession in that show, and the person is like aware they're being possessed. And one of the cool things about it is the human body does not die until the demon leaves the body.
That's kind of like a Doctor Who episode.
Is it? Which one?
The one with the Gelfs, I think. Where that Christmas episode where that girl could she thought she could talk to angels and they were these alien beings.
Oh, and then she went on to do that other show. What was it called?
For the life of me, I don't know the answer to that one.
Captain Jack Harkness.
Oh God, I hate that show.
Yeah, I hated it too. I'm trying to think of what it was called.
Are you talking about the actress? Because the character died.
Yeah, but the actress went on to play a different character, but a different Doctor Who universe character.
They do that a lot if they really like an actor.
Yeah, they do. I'm just trying to remember what the name of that show. Oh my God, that's going to kill me. Oh man, and they have some sort of name. It's like an acronym, I think.
Are you trying to remember the name of the episode or the show?
The spin-off show they did.
Torchwood?
Torchwood!
I said that.
You did?
Yes.
Wow, you are really out of it today.
I am. I'm sorry. Yeah, Torchwood. Yeah, that show was terrible. Great episode of Doctor Who. Terrible spinoff.
Yeah. Oh, they also did another spinoff with that one former companion of
Mary Donna or something like that. Mary Jane.
Come on.
Mary Jane Adventures.
Yeah. And then the actress passed away, so they had to end the show.
That was sad.
Yeah. But she was never my favorite companion in the first place.
Who was your favorite companion?
Jessie, the Scottish companion of the second Doctor. Jamie, I mean, that just completely ruined my credibility, getting his name wrong.
Yeah, nerd.
Jamie. It was Jamie. Oh my
I
gosh. Did y'all go shopping on Black Friday?
I did.
Yes.
We both did. Did you work?
Yes, I did.
Crazy hotel deals?
Nah, hotels are, it's, after Thanksgiving, everyone's trying to get home.
Yeah, that must have been kind of nice. And yeah, I went and bought a ton of professional lady clothes.
Professional lady clothes for your professional lady job.
Yeah, well, internship, but yeah.
What did Chris buy?
That's not important.
You bought video games, didn't you? I've never really thought the Black Friday deals were so good that I would want to get out and drive in that traffic and deal with all the rude people, because I don't get claustrophobic in buildings because of like just rooms being small. I get claustrophobic when I'm surrounded by lots of people.
Yeah, I can understand that. Here's the thing about me. I don't really mind crowds that much, and I don't mind waiting in lines. Like, honestly, waiting in lines is like no big deal to me. I don't care at all. So I was in line at Old Navy with 3 shirts, 1 scarf that wasn't even for me. It was for Chris. I was in line for probably an hour, and I was like, I got up to the register finally. The guy's like, "Is this all you have?" And I was like, "Yes." Dude, I'm super desperate for some professional clothes. I bought like 3 shirts. Yeah, the only problem with Black Friday, I mean, the crowds don't bother me. It's just individual assholes that bother me.
Yeah, it's their behavior.
The guy behind me was preaching the word of God, and I was like, oh, if you're like preaching the word of God in the line at Old Navy on Black Friday, you need to be reevaluating some life choices.
Like being religious?
I don't know. It's just inappropriate timing and.
Well, I mean, if people like that, they're gonna preach anywhere.
Ugh.
I just humor them like grandparents, racist grandparents. I'm just like, yes, okay.
Luckily,
yes.
it was not talking to me, so I didn't have to deal with it, but like, timing.
For me, it's more just about fairness. If he's able to do that, I should be able to stand in line and go, you know who's real great? Satan.
You can do that, but people are gonna think you're even weirder if you're completely serious about it.
See, you look like the asshole, which is the weird part.
Yeah, again, it's you humor your racist grandparents. You humor the weird, really, really religious people on Black Friday sales. That's just how it goes.
I don't humor my racist grandparents, and they are a bit racist, or they were.
Your grandparents?
They were.
How?
I'm not going to say because this is a podcast and not the place for race.
Okay.
We're all the same color here, and that's digital.
Well, no, you're actually not the same color.
Okay, you had to really bring that up.
Ouch.
Ouch. Anyway, I just awkwardly went, and then walked away.
I just don't like being surrounded by people, and they nudge you, and
that's what I don't like. I don't like when people get really up in your space. The people behind me, they had their stroller constantly on top of me.
Oh my god.
I know, and the baby was in the stroller, so I was like really angry. I mean, he was cute, and everyone's like, "Oh, look how cute he is." I was like, "Yeah, he's cute. Just get him away from me. He's way too close to me." They were like crowding me into the wall, and then they tried to cut in front of me, and it was
fucking poking me with your baby.
Yeah. I went shopping all day, and I went later that day, and I got blazed and got a blazer. I didn't actually do drugs. I just like saying.
Okay, I was about to say Julianne.
No. I just like saying that I bought a blazer.
So wearing a blazer is in fact what
blazed
blazed you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Blazed. I'm getting blazed for work.
I could never really wear blazers because like you can't lift your arms up fully in them, and I like to have that option.
Yeah, I've got pretty broad shoulders, so I look horrible in blazers.
Aw.
They should do a horror movie about Black Friday.
They probably have, and I'll bet you it's called Black Friday.
Yeah, and then it's like people in line and just like stabbing people or something.
Yeah, and just like tossing fake blood on everybody, kind of like Treevenge.
Yeah.
Which is a short film we watched this morning. Well, you watched this morning and I've already watched before. Just in time for the holidays.
Yeah, it was actually the perfect thing to probably watch, like, because it's like just starting to be that time for Christmas.
Yep.
So it was kind of perfect to watch because I was literally talking to Chris yesterday and I was like, oh, hey, so next year when we get a Christmas tree, are we going to get it the day after Thanksgiving, or do you want to get December 1st? And if any of that things in that movie happened to me, it would be horrifying.
Oh, definitely. But you gotta admit, there was a lot of it that was just really just perfect. It was an awesome little movie.
My favorite was probably like the beginning.
Yeah.
With those guys like, let's get the fucking trees. And all like,
Just so over the
"Ah!"
top.
Like every person in there was just kind of really over the top, awesome acting.
Yeah.
Like it was.
I was like, I never knew tree farm workers were so sinister before. And like the guy who owns that tree store, if you put Vaseline on anything, you can probably make it pretty gross.
Oh, God.
And the little subtitles for the talking tree.
Oh, their little voices. I loved the tiny little trees.
Yeah,
Is it just me, or were those audio clips just pulled from other movies?
probably.
I could have sworn I heard what are those things called? Not Wookiees, but from Star Wars, the tiny bears, Ewoks.
Oh, man. I'm so out of it. I couldn't even think of what they were called. I was like, yogis?
I'm not a fucking nerd, so I didn't immediately know the answer to that question.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, hey, so I'm looking at this stuff for Treevenge right now on Wikipedia. It came out in 2008, and it won some awards.
Well, it's really funny, so I guess that makes sense.
Yeah.
I did feel kind of sorry for that family, but you remember them drilling holes into the base of that poor tree, and
Yeah. I really wanted them to do a cutaway to like a family celebrating Hanukkah.
yeah.
I was really thinking that was going to happen at the end of the movie, and they never did that. I was kind of like sad. I was like, oh, what about people that don't celebrate Christmas? Are they just going to like skip their houses?
Or like a sequel where the like oil starts to rebel or something, or the
Drowns them.
Yeah, but what about Jehovah's Witnesses?
What about Jehovah's Witnesses? What do they do?
They don't celebrate it.
Well,
Maybe
yeah.
doors just fall on them.
Say doors or dwarfs?
Doors? Why would I
Okay.
say
Dwarf
doors?
doors.
I have my retainer in, so I might sound a little weird.
Okay.
That would be pretty terrifying if it could hurt you. I mean, I'd be surprised if I was about to knock on a door and it fell on me.
Let's cut out that dwarf part too, because that got a little weird.
It was not weird.
Well, okay. Well,
Nobody
I just
was
made it
weird,
by
but
mentioning it the
why
second
don't
time.
stop talking about it?
I guess it's time to segue into the first film.
Okay. Oh, but first, Madeline, do you get real trees or do you own a fake tree?
We get real trees.
So then there is a chance you're terrified of that happening to you.
Oh, there's a very small chance, but
She's pretty scared.
I'll talk to them and make them, I'll talk to the tree and make it look like I'm being forced into putting it in my room and decorating it with sparkly foil. So hopefully I can get that tree on my side.
Yeah,
Sparkly foil?
maybe put some like sugar cookies in the water. Like I think the tree would appreciate that.
Yeah, trees love sugar.
Yeah.
Bitches love cooked sugar cookies. Birches love sugar cookies.
Birches.
that was all.
Okay. First movie, Chris, take it away.
My film is the film Fallen, starring the utterly awesome, amazing, over the top, and brilliant Denzel Washington.
I thought you were gonna say some like actor in the movie that just like appeared for a second.
I digress. Fallen, starring Denzel Washington, awesome John Goodman, and for I'd say a quarter of the movie, Donald Sutherland.
Donald Sutherland, huh?
Sutherland.
I've heard he's an asshole.
Really?
Yeah.
Why? What what has he done?
Like when he works with people, he's just like, excuse me, I'm Donald Sutherland.
He's the Chevy Chase of serious movies.
Yeah, but I don't even think he bothers to even talk to people. He just kind of ignores them.
That's sad.
That's sad to know, because he's so cool.
No, I'm sad. Thanks for telling me
Yeah,
that.
thanks
Sorry
for
about that.
ruining a lot of things. You've ruined Christmas, and now you've ruined Donald Sutherland.
Look, I'm sure maybe Christmas and Donald Sutherland can get together and do a kind of media revival of their reputations, but for now, it's just...
Have any interesting facts about Kiefer Sutherland? Maybe bring up Lost Boys?
I love Lost Boys, for one thing, and Kiefer Sutherland has a weird mouth.
Why would you point that out?
He does. I mean, have you ever watched him talk? It's just kind of weird. It's like he curves his lips in. It's...
That's not weird. People do that.
Yeah, but he just looks weird. Sorry. I don't dislike him, but I look at him when he's talking, and I'm like, God, I wish he'd stop doing that. It's kind of like when Drew Barrymore smiles.
He has no lips. That's
Yeah.
the issue.
When Drew Barrymore smiles, she looks like she's toothless.
Why do you stop making me utilize Google so much right now?
I'm sorry, go back into Fallen so I can stop like criticizing actors.
Now she's looking at pictures of Drew Barrymore. Oh, you should look at the Gibb brother.
Okay, we're back to Fallen.
So we're not going to go into the beach.
No.
Just got it. Okay. Denzel Washington plays a detective who catches a serial killer who they put down. But it turns out the serial killer has actually been possessed by a demon.
Okay, so it's like the episode of Amazing Stories, Hell to Pay.
Just go along with it.
It's an anthology story. Series directed by Steven Spielberg.
Steven Spielberg.
He's that guy who did E.T.
Oh my God, Jurassic Parks.
Yeah.
It's on Netflix Instant Watch.
Plug.
Okay, go back into it.
You guys keep interrupting me.
Sorry.
Okay, after this guy's executed, some of his little habits still are showing up in people that Denzel is talking to around. You know, like the guy was very known for singing "Time Is on My Side," his favorite song. And suddenly his friends start singing it. And he's like, hey, what's going on? And he's like, why are you singing? He's like, I wasn't singing. Then he notices, he follows the trail basically, and eventually finds out that there's a demon stalking him.
Ooh.
Romantically or
It's romantic in a way. He basically wants his body. He wants his body because he can't have it. He found out he possesses people by touch.
Wait, but didn't he get arrested by this demon?
Mhm.
Or didn't the demon arrest him? Why didn't he just
No, other way around.
he
Yeah.
arrested the demon?
Yeah, why didn't he touch him during the arrest?
Yes, but it turns out he can't move into his body for some reason, and
Oh,
that
okay.
upsets the demon
You
basically.
can't violate Denzel Washington.
Exactly. He wants to be inside Denzel.
He's not
he-
penetratable.
Who doesn't want to be?
He found out the only way there's two ways he can move from body to body, and that one is through touch, and the other one is dying.
Passionately kissing. Oh, sorry.
Side note: Big Wolf on Campus did an episode referencing this.
How many
Reference to
times have you brought up Big Wolf on Campus?
I'm sorry, I really love the show, and I think people need to give it a chance.
I've just noticed that's come up a lot.
Well, it's because every episode does a lot of references to movies, so.
Sorry, it did a reference to what?
Well, it referenced the idea of this guy, demon, this spirit. Like every time someone touched someone else, the spirit would transfer to the next person.
Was that the season? Was that with the seasons with the first girl or the second girl?
That was the first girl. That was with Stacy.
Okay.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Sorry. So only way he can pass people is if he dies or touches them?
No,
Is it
Oh.
a spoiler to tell us why it can't possess Denzel?
not really. Basically, he's just one of a select few humans who he can't do that to.
Oh,
Is he like touched by an angel or something?
so like
A woman who her father actually went through the exact same experience as him. He fought the same demon and ended up dying for it. Basically grew up paranoid and obsessed about the demon, so she learned everything about it. Turns out she believes that there are people on Earth that were put here to fight demons.
Okay, that's kind of cool.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Oh, so her dad died fighting the demon, and the demon take control after he died.
He did.
Oh, so the soul has to leave the body for him to be able to take that body. Okay,
Well,
that's
no.
cool.
I'm sorry, no. So that he basically, the only way to do it is, let's just say hypothetically, I'm the demon.
Yeah.
I can't get inside you. I
It's-
shoot myself in the head, and then I have about one breath worth of time to try and get inside of a body.
Okay, but
Okay.
so the demon's out of the body, and can't penetrate my body. In that moment when you're dead, you can though. That's what I'm trying to get at. I'm trying to figure out how this whole dying thing works. Okay.
Yeah, dying's a trip.
Can the demon? So demon goes from people to people. Does he ever get in the body of a cat?
Yes.
He does.
How did you know he got to what? That is a really wild prediction. Does he ever get in the body of a cat? Where did that come from?
I don't. Animal possession? Isn't that a thing or no?
Is that the only animal he possesses?
I'm joking.
Oh.
He didn't actually get in the body of a cat, but that would have been amazing.
Yeah, he could have been like, meow.
Because it would have been a black cat. Although it'd be hilarious if it was like one of those big white fluffy Persian cats that look like they're assholes.
But I will
It could have
say
been like the cat from Cats vs. Dogs.
Thanks. That is spoilerish.
Okay.
Okay.
Did he ever possess a woman in the movie, or is this
Yes.
like a mostly dude movie?
Nope.
Okay.
He takes the body of anything he can get inside because he loves having fun.
Does he use the woman's sexuality?
No.
I said that weird.
Sexuality.
Yeah, it's my retainer.
Schwarzenegger.
I should probably take my retainer out.
Woman's sexuality.
Sexuality.
Oh, and Chris, tell us about, was this movie a success?
I would believe so.
Mm.
Probably not. Denzel gets paid a lot. They probably did not get as much as they spent on it, but you know what? I enjoyed it, and that's really what's important.
Okay, so it's kind of like an action horror film.
Yeah.
A thriller.
It's a-
Thriller.
Cool. Well, it sounds like a fun movie.
I know that this movie is probably scary because I think I got Julianne to try and watch it one time, and she was like, "Yeah, let's just stop here." So
I could probably watch it now. I think I've gotten a lot more braver.
She's toughened up.
Yeah.
Toughened up. This
Little
podcast has been training you.
A little bit, because I've been having to watch things and being scared, and I hate that. It's not a thrill for me. It's not fun. It's not a good adrenaline rush. You want me to go next, Madeline?
Yeah, go ahead.
The movie I watched was Idle Hands.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah! It came out in 1999,
Mm-hmm.
and it was probably... It was a box office failure.
Oh, yeah.
It made like $4 million with a budget of 25, and it wasn't really well received. But however, I think it's hilarious, and I think it does have somewhat of a small cult following to it, because it's just like...
Stoner zombie movie.
Yes. And that's not something... with possession, too. There's zombies, possession, and then there's like a demon hunter. It's got
a little sprinkling of everything.
A little bit of romance. So basically, the movie is about this guy named Anton, who is just like... he's like in high school, and he's like a stoner, and he doesn't really do anything. His main goal in life is just kind of to sit on the couch and have somebody bring him food.
He's the everyman of the late 90s.
Yes. So what ends up happening is his parents end up dying, and it's like all of the evidence points to him, and he's like, well, I didn't kill my parents. And then he starts to realize his right hand is doing things, and he doesn't really realize it. And he realizes his right hand is being possessed by a demon. So his hand ends up killing his two best friends. By one of them, he stabs one of them in the head with a beer bottle, and the other one, he, in true fashion of this movie, he throws like a metal disc. I think it might have been a record or something, and it chops his friend's head off.
I noticed that some movies had a fascination with using CDs to kill people in the 90s.
Yeah.
Even still, you kind of see that. It's like completely ridiculous. Like, those things are not sharp at all. They're like...
I don't know. Remember Shaun of the Dead? How they fucking into that zombie's head? And
Yeah. Still.
Well, I'd imagine records, even though they're more brittle, must be sharper than CDs.
You'd be surprised. Have you ever shattered a CD? It can get pretty sharp.
Oh, yeah. I mean, if you break it in half, of course it's going to be sharp, and it is hard plastic. Right.
I think that could definitely be a death by CD. I just don't imagine it's in a frisbee throw.
Okay, even though the Rage 2, Carrie 2 sucked, the CD element was funny. It was like this massive CD death, and I just remember it being really cool visually.
Did you see any of the CD titles? Who was it? Was it Limp Bizkit?
Was it Sarah McLachlan?
It was probably Sarah McLachlan. It actually did a song called Possession. Huh.
Anyway, so he kills his best friends, and his best friends are being just like him. They're like just super lazy, so they were too lazy to go to heaven, so they just stayed zombies. And they end up trying to help him control his hand. He ends up cutting his hand off in an attempt to stop it from killing, but it's still moving around on its own, so he puts it in the microwave and tapes up the microwave. And the best part for me of this movie was just the complete incompetence of his friends, who are like, oh, you know what? I really want a microwavable burrito right now.
Even after death, they're useless.
Yeah, and then they just free the hand, and of course after that it goes on a rampage, which is just amazing. And I think that's all I'm really gonna say about that movie. I'm not gonna spoil the end. Oh wait, no, I do want to spoil the end because something funny happens at the end.
Okay, guys, heads up, Julianne's about to spoil the end of Idle Hands. So
Yeah,
if you haven't watched it within the 15 years since it came out,
This part's so great. The end of the movie, the main guy ends up sacrificing himself to like save his girlfriend or something or something happens. He tries to sacrifice himself to save her. And he ends up in a full body cast in the hospital, hand cut off, everything's over. The demon is gone. And his friends, like, somebody leaves the room and they turn off the light in the hospital, and on the ceiling it says something about it being back, and it can't wait to take possession, something like that. And he like freaks out, and he's freaking out and he's screaming, and his friends are like just laughing about it because they were assholes and they wrote it on the ceiling.
Well, he did kill them in their defense.
No, he did. It was a hand. How did he really?
Maybe he should have realized it sooner.
Maybe. This movie had some pretty good, like, I like the death scenes in this movie. They were all kind of funny.
Vivica A. Fox is in this?
Yeah, she was the demon hunter.
I haven't seen it in so long.
Yeah.
I haven't seen it. Well, I'm like.
I just remember Seth Green.
Yeah, Seth Green, and then that one guy from Mighty Ducks.
Jessica Alba.
Yeah, that one guy, Jessica Alba.
And the main guy, who was like, it was really funny. I found out he was, this is going to be me admitting that I watched Nikita, but he was in the second season of Nikita, and I was like, what?
Boo.
There are plenty of people who like Nikita.
It's good.
Double boo.
It's a good show. Whatever. It's a strong female lead.
I'm getting the impression Chris doesn't like Nikita, or he's hiding the fact that he's the biggest Nikita fan on the planet.
I don't even know what Nikita is. I just know to boo it.
Okay, so Nikita is the story of this.
God,
Gay men like it.
I have something to tell you, Chris.
It all makes sense.
You're a gay demon, and you've just been trying to get close to him.
The only way I can enter you.
Oh, this is wrong.
Okay.
With that in mind, Idle Hands for me is not a movie I can regularly watch. I enjoyed it the first time, but there's just too much drug humor in it for me.
Yeah, it is a lot. It is definitely a stoner movie, but I like stoner movies. I think they're hilarious. I don't smoke or anything, but I just find them to be insanely dumb and hilarious.
You don't partake.
Yeah, I don't partake, but I just find them hilarious.
Yeah, like Meet Joe Black. That movie was like, what?
When?
Brad Pitt? Grim Reaper?
When did he smoke pot and meet Joe Black?
I just know people smoke pot while watching that movie.
It's a very long movie.
Okay. Yeah, Idle
Keep the
Hands.
ball rolling.
It's just a funny movie. It's a horror comedy.
It's a movie for watching with your friends on Saturday.
Yeah, it's like if you catch it on TV, even though there's commercials, it's worth watching.
Yeah. It's one of those movies that watching it on TV, it doesn't really matter what they cut out because it's pretty lighthearted.
Yeah. It's good. I like it. Okay.
I guess we'll move on to my new movie, which is Night of the Demons, an 80s classic. For some reason, they have Part 2 on Netflix Instant Watch, but they don't have Part 1 on Netflix Instant Watch.
Because that makes sense.
And, like, Part 2 is just gross.
Was it the successful sequel, or was it just bad?
If you're a pervert, I guess it was a successful sequel.
Oh, maybe I'll like it.
Can I ask a quick question?
Yeah, sure.
Why does the demon on the cover kind of look like Howie Mandel from the movie Little Monsters?
Because Howie Mandel is a demon.
He is the devil.
Mm-hmm. I actually love Little Monsters. I watched that movie 1,000 times, but
I've never seen it.
Dude, I'm sorry.
oh,
quick
you'd
side-
enjoy it.
What?
Did you know that Fred Savage is related to Ben Savage?
Who's Ben Savage?
The kid who played Corey in Boy Meets World is the same, or is related to the kid who played
The boy in Little Monsters.
the boy in Little Monsters, who's the same guy who...
He was in The Wonder Years, and he was in
The Wonder
Princess
Years,
Bride.
yes.
He was in a movie about muscular dystrophy. He was in Austin Powers 3.
Yes, he was.
What?
Mole!
Are you sure that
Yeah.
was him?
Yes,
Or
it
not?
was.
Yeah, it was him. Sorry. They look the exact same to me.
It never hit me, frankly. They were like in very similar shows.
As much as I love Fred Savage and discussing his career, I'd think it's probably going to steer this back to Night of the Demons here.
Sorry, I just had
Wait,
to point.
quick thing. Sorry, we were wrong. Little Monsters is Corey from Boy Meets World.
What?
Yeah.
Whoa, my mistake.
Yeah.
Fred Savage is in Little Monsters. Fred Savage is
Yes?
the main character in Little Monsters.
Yeah, no, he would have been way too young.
No, he's not. Wait,
Yes,
yeah, they're
he
both
is.
in it. Okay, they're both in it. My bad.
Well, there we go.
Okay, sorry. Back to Night of the Demons.
Alternate title, Halloween Party, but I have never, ever heard anyone call it that, so it's probably some weird, like, British or Australian name they gave it.
They might have already had Night of the Demons over there.
Yeah. And since it's an 80s movie, it has a really cool opening title sequence with, like, animation, and they used to do that in a lot of 80s movies.
Oh, yeah.
Like
Yeah.
Christmas Vacation.
And not to suggest anyone watch a movie on YouTube, because that's totally illegal, but it is on YouTube. And it basically took 2 months to film. It's a cut and dry story. These kids have a party at a haunted house / former crematorium
Oh, God.
mortuary, and then things go wrong after they perform a seance in front of a mirror.
What the fuck, man? Like, really? They just set up those movie horror, like, yeah, and then they expect nothing to happen? They don't, see? No. Do one of those things. Don't do all of those things. You got a motherfucking mirror, a haunted house, and a goddamn seance?
Do they poop on a grave, too?
Yeah, really.
They don't poop on a grave.
Bring a scary doll, too?
No. But when one of the girls is possessed, and by the way, the actress who plays this girl is Linnea Quigley, who was also in Return of the Living Dead, and she played the chick who did the naked graveyard dance scene. She was a scream queen, and she's also an animal rights activist now. There's this really, really weird sequence in the movie where she's possessed, and she takes her clothes off, and she shoves a lipstick tube inside her boob, and it disappears.
Are we talking like cleavage, or she literally pushes it into her boob?
Like, she puts it on top of her nipple and pushes it in, and it's gone.
That is horrific.
That is weird. Okay, that's much
Yeah.
weirder than what I was thinking.
Same here.
Yeah, this movie isn't really so much about the plot as it is about the really weird special effects and little moments in it. And one of the main demons, who's actually on the cover for all the Night of the Demons movies, is played by Mimi Kincaid, who was a modern dancer, and she has a really cool dance scene in Night of the Demons, which is also a really famous scene. It's basically when she's first possessed and this guy is watching her, and she starts dancing in front of this fireplace, and it's like weirdly mesmerizing and erotic and weird because she won't stop, and it's just bizarre. And the actress is also a choreographer and apparently a pet psychic.
Okay.
Yeah. Of course, as is with all haunted house movies, sunrise is what ultimately drives all the demons back to hell, I guess. And there's also a really weird side story with an old man who hates kids in the beginning, and he buys a bunch of razor blades and apples, and it's like Halloween night. And at the end of the movie, his wife is like, "Oh, I know you bought a lot of apples for all the trick-or-treaters like you do every year, but we had just so many, so I made you some apple pies." After he eats a slice. And so the razor blades cut his neck open and kill him. And she like kisses him on the head, and you get the impression she knew he was doing that to the apples.
Oh, God.
Yeah. It's a very campy 80s movie.
That sounds interesting. The dance scene is really intriguing. I think I'm probably going to look that up later.
Probably have to look that up. We probably have seen that before in other...
Yeah, it's a really good sequence, actually, the dance scene. And this was filmed in Los Angeles, I think.
But she's frantically typing.
Yeah,
Yes.
but we can frantically type while she frantically types.
Who will frantically type the frantic list? Did you see that weird series they were doing on the ads with the alien mustaches?
No.
It was
But you have my attention.
It was like a series they were doing on YouTube, and it was showing up in ads, and it was like 10-minute episodes, so you could decide to stay and watch the show, or just skip it like an ad and go to the actual video you watched, and they were pretty funny. They were weird. It's like these mustaches that came from outer space and then, like, possessed people.
I must have missed that because I'm too busy skipping ads. Alright, we're pushing play.
Scared.
Where are you off to?
Christmas tree farm.
Oh.
I am not cutting this.
Oh. Okay.
Julian, we can't let them get a Christmas tree.
What?
Yeah, by the way, I'm not cutting that because that was perfect.
No.
Okay, so we're on 10 seconds and we're pushing play again.
That guy looks like Mario Lopez.
Are you a god?
This movie's been remade too, but I haven't seen the remake.
Did you know remakes almost always go awesome and perfect? I like Carrie. She's breathing very heavily.
Yeah. Possessed women do that.
Were they just all like hanging out when she came in there and started doing this?
It's everyone kind of went to different rooms, and he's just the only guy in there when she started doing it.
Oh, okay.
And that radio was dead.
That actor looks really familiar.
I'm sure he's nobody.
I think around the time of the strobe light, I'd go, you know what, I think I got some shit to do.
I love that he's wearing a denim jacket with no shirt.
Well, it was the 80s.
I know.
Surprised he's not holding a saxophone. That's the complete look.
This is fantastic.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. And just a reminder, this actress is a pet psychic.
I love that he's edging toward the door.
Yeah, it's not so hot anymore.
So did that like horrible guy that showed up at the end immediately die after that?
Yes.
How does he die?
He goes to dance with her, and like she kisses him or something, and then I don't remember exactly, but then he gets possessed.
Oh.
It's funny that I don't remember exactly because I just watched it right before we started recording. So.
A notable death.
Yeah. Well, he ends up being like this weird pig demon.
Oh, yeah, because he kind of looks like that one pig thing from, what is it, Turtles?
Or was that a Captain Planet character?
I can't remember if it was Turtles or Captain Planet, but I'm thinking one of the two.
No, it was Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. There was no pig monster from Captain Planet. Well, no, I'm sorry. There was a pig-looking guy.
That
Captain
must be
Planet
why.
who always snorted and laughed.
Yeah, that might be why I got confused.
Yeah.
Well, at any rate, acting's not great in it, but it's pretty cool. It's a good 80s movie.
The dance was really cool. The whole dance sequence was
Oh,
cool.
yeah. She's a
You
great
should link that.
I will link the dance as well as Treevenge. Because that's how I roll.
That's how you roll.
That's how I roll. I roll. I roll.
Madeline, have you seen a movie called Silent Deadly Night?
Yes. And Linnea Quigley from Night of the Demons is in that movie.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, they're doing a showing at Draft House.
When?
It looks like December 4th.
December 4th. Okay.
Oh, this week, actually, yeah.
I'd like to give our audience a heads up. I will probably be removing some early archive episodes pretty soon, temporarily, just so I can make room. And when we have more room, maybe on a different host, I will re-upload them.
Oh.
Because they're too long for YouTube.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I think it's time to mention the blog, which features our podcast as well as various other fun things like vintage comics, movies of the week,
Madeline.
lots of me, and sometimes I'll even feature a phobia and random other topics. It can be found at hallow-holic.blogspot.com or hallow-holic.wordpress.com. And Julianne, would you like to mention our Twitter?
I am. I'm actually on it right now. And yeah, we have Twitter. We're at Hallow-Holics, and we tweet sometimes. We're tweeting right now, for instance.
We're tweeting so hard, Sylvester Cat's at our doorstep.
It's pretty intense tweeting.
It's pretty intense.
This isn't, yeah. But if you have anything you want us to talk about, please tweet at us. We really would love to hear something. We did get a tweet from I won't say the person's name to embarrass them, but they said we were pretty awesome. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Follow us.
Not that it's not apparently obvious if you saw our Twitter who did it. No, it was me. Okay. And a few podcasts I'd like to definitely suggest for our listeners. There's the traditional Sawbones and Horror, etc., horror, etc. And there's also another one that I'm going to add to our lineup called the Directors Club Podcast. It's a great podcast where they spend 2 or 3 hours every episode really discussing awesome directors.
Oh. So is it like, do they focus on their career or just certain movies?
Usually they'll focus on their career, but also certain movies. They don't mention they don't do the whole filmography of great directors, but they mention some of their most influential or better films.
Okay.
Like,
makes sense.
yeah, they did some good episodes on Mario Bava and Dario Argento, who are two pretty fantastic Italian directors. Argento not so much anymore, but his early stuff was good.
Okay, I'm gonna make a recommendation to them. Please do The Room.
That director, I don't know if he did more than one movie.
I think he's just done The Room. I'm looking it up right now. Yeah, he's done more than one. He's directed 3 movies.
Could you honestly spend 2 or 3 hours talking about him, though? Maybe someday we'll do a commentary on The Room. No, it's not horror at all.
Everything's horror.
Leeway.
Right.
Hey guys, I think I figured out what these hieroglyphics say. Okay, this isn't a grudge. You can tone it down.
Wait, we're not doing any Egyptian accents.